Hello and welcome to the first CEO vlog of 2022. Happy New Year to all of you. I wanted to take this opportunity on behalf of the trustees to have a quick look back at 2021 because we undertook some work then that really has laid some important foundations for what's coming up in this year in 2022. And having quickly looked at last year, I'll then take you through some of the plans for ideas and concepts and activities that are going to take place this year. So let's start with conferences. Having hoped that 2020 was a year that we would never have to live through again, we were hopeful that conferences in 2021 would return to normal. However, that was not the case, and we had to continue with delivering virtual online conferences for both the spring, the Irish and the summer meetings. Now, these conferences did attract record numbers of delegates and some very positive feedback, and it did enable you, the members, to continue to discuss your emerging research, debate current issues of concern, and although difficult in an online format, as we've all been finding, we have continued to develop collaborations. But in September, the position had improved, and we launched our first hybrid conference, and we used Nutrition Futures, the annual student conference, to test that format. We met at the Cavendish Conference Centre in London, and there were over 100 face-to-face delegates and nearly as many joining us online. I did attend that event and I spoke to many who were there, and I can say the event was a great success. Importantly, we learnt several lessons about the complexity of delivering one of these hybrid style conferences, and clearly they're not as easy or straightforward as I think we would have hoped. However, we did carry those lessons forward to our winter conference, which we held in December at the Royal Society. We had 175 face-to-face delegates. It was a sell-out event. Nearly as many joined us online from across the world over the course of 2 days. It did really feel like a sense of normality had returned to our lives. The live streaming for the hybrid worked extremely well. We now do have a sense of the strong platform that we need to make hybrid a success if we decide to continue to use that as the format for future conferences. And the marker I would put down here on behalf of the trustees and the science committee is that not all venues can facilitate hybrid. So I think we will see in 2022 a mixture of face-to-face, some online and some hybrid. In other developments, the trustees launched their new strategic plan for 5 years. We did that back in July. It's based upon 4 key priorities, and it's going to run for 5 years up to 2026. Now, regular updates on the progress of the plan are going to follow in this vlog and in the Gazette and in other formats. But the most important part of having a good strategy is it does provide the trustees with a strong sense of the direction that they've set and a chance for them to monitor that progress and adapt as they go along. After considerable research and debate, the 3 themes that have been in existence for some years were replaced in 2021 with 4 new themes. New theme leaders were recruited and appointed to those 4 positions. And then towards the end of the year, after some debate, the theme leads launched a new initiative called Special Interest Groups. And these will be operating under each of their respective themes to enable the members to join a specific area or even develop a group in a specific area and to kind of develop an idea of a niche or a particular interest and delve very deeply into those areas. On the publishing front, our journals continue to perform extremely well, impact factors rising. But the most significant event of the year, without doubt, was the decision to flip Public Health Nutrition journal from its traditional hybrid subscription model to a gold open access, full open access, and we did that on the 1st of April. Now, early indications are that it has been successful, and the number of papers submitted under the new open access model is ahead of where we would normally find the number of papers submitted year to date. we're going to continue to monitor that closely, because the lessons we learn from this flip will apply to the far more, I think, challenging and difficult flip, which will be the British Journal of Nutrition sometime in the next 4 to 5 years. Details of the bigger journal strategy for the Society is detailed in the strategic plan, and you can find that on the website. Now, because of several delays resulting from COVID never seeming to go away, we've finally reopened the Society's refurbished offices in London in July, and we did that on the 80th anniversary of the foundation of the Nutrition Society. We were delighted to be able to name the office Building Boyd Orr House, after the first president of the Society, Lloyd Boyd Orr. Even more thrilling was his granddaughter and grandnephew were able to join us, and they took part in the ribbon cutting ceremony. Our local MP for Hammersmith and Fulham led that ceremony. A number of guests and members were also able to travel down and join us for that event right in the height of summer. Now, these refurbished offices now include a fully stocked library containing all of the Society's publications. There's a range of other books and journals in there as well, and the library is open for any member to stop by at any time and use it for a meeting or just a period of reflection or study. We've built an improved conference centre which has excellent supporting breakout areas and kitchen facilities, and we've made some upgrades on the upper floors to improve the staff working areas. And I can say I've now worked in that building for 7.5 years. I can really genuinely say it does now feel very much like the home of the Nutrition Society, and I know that was the original vision of the trustees when they set out on that refurbishment programme. So looking forward into 2022, some foundations were laid, as I mentioned earlier, during 2021. The partnership with IFIS to develop the nutrition searchable database is coming to fruition, and we're hoping to launch that project in spring of this year. We've begun the recruiting process, looking for members of Parliament, both in the Commons and the House of Lords, to help us launch an all-party parliamentary group to focus on nutrition, science and health. We've really identified that there is a niche need there within Parliament. Ambitions for that are hopefully towards the second half of 2022. We've also joined a number of other existing all-party parliamentary groups to make sure that we can continue to keep the profile and visibility of nutrition science as high as possible in front of Parliament and policy makers. We are gathering data and looking at the financial viability of whether it's feasible to launch what we're calling a member development fund in 2022, where we can draw on income from the year, income from some of the reserves, to fund a range of travel grants, summer studentships and development grants for other activities that members may wish to bring to our attention and apply for. So with those foundations in place on the conference front, as we launch into 2022, we're going to start with our spring meeting, which we held at the Royal Society in Edinburgh in April. The Irish section hosting their postgraduate conference in Portrush in February, and then their summer meeting being held in Cork in June. The main summer meeting for us, for the Society, will be at Sheffield University in July. And then the Nutrition Futures Student Conference will take place, being hosted at Coventry University in September. I should flag up at this stage, there isn't going to be the traditional winter meeting in the first week of December this year. We are moving that until the middle of January 2023. We are committed to supporting the IUNS Congress, which is taking place in Tokyo that first week in December, and we obviously can't be in two places at the same time. That winter meeting will be held at the Royal Society, as it was this year. Looking to relaunch our summer studentships pretty quickly, and then we're looking at travel grants So they're not just for international conferences. They will cover UK conferences, European conferences, but also what can we do to support members who are based on the mainland of the United Kingdom to travel to the island of Ireland to attend the Irish section conference, and vice versa, Irish section members who want to come over to the mainland of the UK and attend those conferences, and what can we put in place to support those. We'll also be looking at building into that member development fund support for people who want to go to IUNS, and also in 2023, if I can go even further ahead, it's the FENS conference, and there'll obviously need to be a grant process in place for that. I mentioned the all-party parliamentary group and our work to find MPs to sponsor that and start that. That's ongoing. I'm really confident that we'll get that going in the autumn. And staying on the political front, we are supporting STEM for Britain in the House of Commons again in March of this year. It's an annual poster competition. I think from what I saw a couple of days ago, just looking online, we do seem to have attracted a record number of applicants and posters this year, which is good news. The Society will be sponsoring the annual Nutrition Society Prize, and this year we're also picking up supporting the gold, silver and bronze prizes for chemistry. Then in June we'll be back in the House of Lords for the annual Links Day, where we bring together scientists from across STEM to debate a topical area. On the international front, we are continuing to develop our international partnerships. A lot of that work's been going on in 2021, getting ready for many conferences, of course, were postponed and delayed and will now take place in 2022. So we're helping the Georgian Nutrition Society establish their first Caucasus International Conference, probably in May of this year. We'll be supporting the Pakistan Nutrition and Dietetics Society with their second international conference in March. And then in a new partnership with the Foundation Sabri Ulka, we will be supporting their conference being hosted in Istanbul. And members of our themes and our science committee have helped establish and build that program for them. We actually start the year in a couple of weeks' time with our colleagues from the French Nutrition Society. We're hosting a joint conference with them on sustainability. It was going to be face-to-face in Lille, but obviously with the pandemic we've had to move that in the last couple of days to an online conference. Registration is now open. It's a fabulous couple of days, 27th, 28th of January. Do go to the website and register for that. And the most significant milestone for 2022 is the 75th anniversary of the flagship journal, the British Journal of Nutrition. A range of activities are going to take place across the year, led by the editor-in-chief of that journal, Professor John Mathers. We know we're having a reception and an event at the Irish meeting in June. We'll be doing something at the summer meeting, and it will be culminating with a significant event at the IUNS Congress in Tokyo in December to an international audience. And interspersed across all of these major events will be all of our usual other activities and opportunities, such as member one-day led meetings. I'm expecting to see a number of those special interest groups form and start to map out their focus and areas of interest. I'm looking forward to continuing to see the membership levels increase. We are going to be introducing some new membership categories this year to help align the facilities and support you can get from membership to the levels that you will find in your respective careers. The strategic plan obviously contains a number of very exciting ideas, and I know the trustees are going to be laying the foundations for a number of those, which they expect to see delivered throughout 2023 and 2024. So all that remains is for me to welcome you to 2022. As you can see, it's a busy schedule. We're very excited about the opportunities. On behalf of the trustees, I'd like to thank you for your continued support. And if there is any way that you would like to become involved and support the work of the Society, I'd be very, very pleased to hear from you. My email address, as always, is on the final slide. So, on behalf of the trustees, the team here at the Nutrition Society offices, although as you can see I'm still in my house in some form of mild work from home for the next couple of weeks, but we'll be back in the offices soon. A happy new year to you all, and a prosperous one, and let's hope a return to a strong sense of normality. Thank you very much.